We are TFR, Truth Frequency Radio.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. What is up, everybody? We are back. It's Saturday night, and you know what that means. I'm the sorcerer supreme of the radio airwaves that are going into your ear. And my name is Frank Castle. And I'm here with my etherical translator, Paula Mile.
Hello, everyone.
What is up? I was going to let out the
You do it good.
that giant scream. Roar! You know, we're back.
Because I bet no one thought we were coming.
I'm so happy to be back that I didn't even have the coffee yet, and I feel like I have the coffee in me, flowing through my veins. Before we start tonight's show, I want to do a shout out to Chris and Cherie Gio. Without you guys, this would not be possible. And I love you very much for this opportunity. So now I share with you a Lakota prayer.
Okay.
Teach me how to trust my heart, my mind, my intuition, my inner knowing, the senses of my body, the blessings of my spirit. Teach me to trust these things so that I may enter my sacred space and love beyond my fear and thus walk in balance with the passing of each glorious sun.
But isn't that true?
The glory. Sorry, I've been watching reruns of Spartacus because I've been so sick, and we really got into the show. And
No. You really got into the show.
Paula was telling me right before the show started tonight, gee, I really like those intense sexual
I did not say that. I did not
that they
say
have
that.
on that show.
I did not say that at all.
Yes, you did. Do not lie.
That's terrible. Don't say that.
Well, we are back, and I'm so excited to be back, and we're here to place your intention on what matters again, because all I can see as the time that we were out, other than the floor and the ayahuasca purge bucket, is more political nonsense again. So we're going to discuss just a quick couple of things tonight. But before we do, if you like the music that you hear, check out HeistClick, HeistClick. Just type that in. We're everywhere. And you know one great thing
What?
to signing up to TFR? When you sign up,
Yeah, get a subscription.
you get every show, all the hosts, something for everyone.
Yeah.
It's always awesome. There's always so much information. And they said we'd be starved for information in a time of we have all this information. That's because there's a lot of nonsense and fake news and everything. So get your subscription to the fake news so you can get all the episodes, the past episodes. One of the things I know you guys see I hope you guys see that I have a YouTube channel up. They won't let me name it FearLess just yet, but I'm not putting out all the information. I'm just going to say this now because I don't want people to get upset with me later. I'm just putting it out there so I could get the content out kind of into the battleground. All right. We've been doing this for almost a year now. And
yeah, almost a year.
Just a couple of episodes to get people's mouths wet so we can continue this conversation. It's time to branch out in the new year. We're connecting the dots. We're not the fake news for those who think that it is. Don't let me laugh at you. Ha 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 ha. One of the things I want to talk about right away that's very important, and I'm going to probably talk about this often now because it drives me nuts knowing it and not being able to teach it properly. So everyone says to me, I want to do what you do. And I'm like, you don't want to do what I do. You want to do your own version of it. But to start, you can't just go, let me see the beings.
No.
Let me see the entities. Show me who I am. Right? First, you got to ground yourself. Think about this just for a moment. You're a lightning rod, and you're just kind of sitting on the floor outside. You're just thrown on your side. Well, the lightning strikes you, and it explodes with energy. It sends that up into the air.
Yep.
It could dent it. It could ruin the lightning rod itself. But when properly grounded, stuck into the ground. Bang, gotcha. Lightning hits. It transmutes the energy through the lightning rod down into the earth, and then it disperses.
Right.
Okay, this is what you are, made of water and energy. Okay,
Yeah.
This is what you are. You fleshy meat sacks out there, I love you. But you have to learn how to ground yourself, because what I'm finding out is, and this is what I've been learning, the message all comes through distorted when you're not grounded.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
This is
so
so true.
Your visions
true.
become like, I don't even know how to explain this, Frank. What does this mean? It's like, I don't know what it means. Were you grounded when you did it? Because it would make more sense. You actually see the answer or hear the reply from whoever you're speaking to, whether it be the universe, whether it be your higher self, whether it be you're just talking to yourself in the mirror. When you ground yourself, the message, it comes back. You'll be able to see it. You'll be able to feel it. You'll be able to sense it.
Well, translate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I really have to pound this into you guys. That didn't sound right, but
I think that's part of
picture
animal.
picture an anchor dropping from your center of like your sacral chakra below the waistline, right where your belly button is, a little lower, inside the middle of your body. Drop an anchor from there around the center of the planet, the core of planet Earth. Wrap the anchor around that core, and then when it energizes with the energy from the core, it'll light up and come right back to you. You're connected fully. Some people grow roots. Some people use chains. I use a mixture of both. I like drop the chain down, wrap it, then grow roots out of it. Now, anything that hits me, the planet transmutes it. I don't have to worry about this. As a shaman, I take things in and onto myself.
Right.
But if I don't clear and clean myself, it becomes a problem. It could become deadly. It could become cancerous. It could become as simple as a toothache.
Yep.
As painful as your guts being spilled out onto the floor. I had one of the worst experiences. We're going to get to that in a moment, but make sure you're grounded. Now, while you're doing this, breathe. Okay, try to do it up to 30 times. If you can't, at least get it jump start. If you do 10, you're going to start feeling good. The messages start coming through clear. It's less confusing, and you don't have to go through that part, ruining it over and over for yourself by getting half messages and distortions. I would get visions. They're actually just telling me. They're not even visions. They're like, hey, check this out. And I'll see it, and I'll go, well, so I got to get storable food, storable water. I got to get a bomb shelter. And what do I need this by tomorrow? Do I need this by tomorrow? What do I need to do? And it goes on. And then I'm not grounded, so I'm thinking the world ends tomorrow. Like, we have to do this. We have to get in the bunker. Oh, my God, lowercase g, here it comes. But that's not the truth. You're seeing possible futures. So if I was grounded and not just running with my mouth, oh, look at that, the whole world's blowing up, then I don't have to go through the process of getting up, rushing through everything just to see that the coffee's made. And I'm like, that's it?
Yeah, life is good. Everything's fine. Just relax a minute. Relax a minute.
Right. Anything that comes through with a fear-based thing and an intention, you're not grounded in properly. When you're grounded, excuse me, by the way, I just sniffled into the mic. I still have a little bit of a cold. All right. So once you're grounded, the info comes back properly. And the energy that hits you, your job, your purpose as a human being on this planet, why are you laughing at me, is to transmute energy.
Because your cat is getting just as excited as you are.
My cat's down to open portals.
Picking up your energy.
So when you're grounded and you're secure, bend your knees just a little bit, oh so slight, and then go to it. That's it.
Yeah, this is important because if you don't bend those knees, you topple right off.
Paul is in rare form tonight.
I can't. I missed you guys. I missed the chat room, folks. I missed everybody. It was a horrible time. Shout outs to the chat room. We love you and miss you. All right, enough with the shout outs tonight. You ready? Here we go. All right. Do you
I got to ask a question before we start. I'll ask you because they can't answer.
Do you have to do your disclaimer?
Well, when we start talking about my story, we'll do that.
All
but right now, I want to talk about everybody's story. The inauguration. President Trump.
Yes.
Y'all out there are still going at it and still fighting for your leaders. It worries me to see how violent it can get and how worked up you can get over another one of your slave mastering leaders. It bothers me. It doesn't bother me that you're so into it as much as you don't really know what's going on, because what I'm seeing is a little bit of ridiculousness on both sides. Those who like Trump, calm down. He's in. You got it. Stop making fun of everyone. But those that don't like him, stop acting like a baby. You had a criminal. It doesn't matter if Trump's a criminal. For the last 8 years and coming into this round were criminals that have an agenda that starts with sacrifice of children. You guys look retarded when you do that. There's children that are stuck in basements, and I know this is extreme, that are going to be used ritualistically. And you're going, I want this person instead of that one. When that one, you're just like, well, he was on WWE. Everyone's getting their chance and opportunity. What I'm trying to say is, if Clinton would have got in, we would have had more death right away. Like right away. War, even if they're lying at that level, which I think they are as well. It's like instantaneous. It's darkness on your front porch. Like, what happens when it comes home to you? Do you really want to get your gun and go groovy? Is that what you really want? You know, you're not here for that. The revolution is a revolution of your mind. And when you see these people on TV doing these ridiculous things and people protesting for ridiculous reasons, I mean, everybody's a crybaby and a little baby. But nobody seems to care for the good reasons, the important stuff, right? Children getting raped and murdered and shipped around and used for party stuff. I can't even use the words I want to use right now. And you guys care about whether this guy's grabbing some girl by the crotch. And
all right.
No, it's not okay, though. It's so flat, your intentions, when it's like that. I hope those that see are using this now as the example that you now can see. You're beginning to see it. All right, let me tell you what I saw. I was watching a Trump guy and an anti-Trump guy going at it. Now, the Trump guy was just standing there. This has nothing to do with who likes who. It's just, I saw a light worker, which was the Trump guy. He didn't say a word. And the other guy was going, oh, this is your president, not mine. And this is this, and this is this. And the guy was just shaking his head calmly and kept pushing away this other like white aggressive guy that kept coming up and wanted to fight back. And he just said, nope, don't fight. Nope. He told the other guy, don't touch me. Say what you got to say. And then he said it, and the crowd broke up and dispersed. And it went to the next two people, slightly 10 feet away. And I said, oh, look at that. That guy's a light worker and absorbed your negative energy.
Oh, yeah. And this was just a short clip on YouTube.
No, it was on Facebook.
Yeah, you were able to actually see the work, energetically, the work that was being done.
If you look, you'll see it. You'll see the one not progressing violent, even if they're on opposing sides or different sides, it doesn't matter. We all come in all shapes and sizes, dispersing the negative energy. If you guys can't tell now that they're bussing in people, protesters, to break windows and stuff, then maybe you're just not even ready. Maybe you're not ready to level up, because not everybody's going to. So, and I'm not here to argue points about it. I'm just saying, look at it for what it is. People are taking to the streets now. I don't even know if they know what they're doing anymore. I think people are just going like, let's go to, yay. Like there was some women thing today. That's great. I'm all for empowerment. No. But what are you going after him for? Why did you not do this while Obama was there? It's the same creature. It's the same creature. The guy just got in. I'm not telling you to do anything for him. I'm just saying you didn't do it for this guy. Why are you doing it for this guy? He's not way worse. He's not. If this guy gave us a month of no war or a break of some kind in tension, just a break, we're lucky. No one's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. If you see yourself, because that's us, that's you, that's me, arguing like that, and the reflection comes back like, I'm not good with that, man, then take it, disperse it, and don't do it. Be more. Become better. Rise above. You're getting the chance to see it. This is the moment. These are the moments. During the new year. Wait, can't start that yet. I hope you guys don't get mad at me when I talk about, I just want people to stop being so negative about each other. Like, I hate you because you're a Trump guy listen, we all got to get along. If Trump gets out of line, he'll get what's coming to him as well as the next guy over or the next girl over. But please stop fighting each other. It's not us that's the problem. It's them. And they have us trained to fight one another. Now it's time for my disclaimer, because this is where it gets crazy, yo. This is the story of my journey and my journey alone. I don't suggest you try this at home alone. That is, unless you are ready, then by all means proceed. But first, we suggest finding a reputable shaman who knows what he or she is doing and travel safe in the love and the light. And remember, the universe rewards bravery.
Oh, yes, it does.
Oh, my, it does. So my take on the new year, which just started 2 days ago.
Oh, for you, the new year started 2 days ago.
Because that was, maybe that was the new year start for me, you know? I had a ceremony, and as people came in, so early in the morning. This was 2 weeks ago, Saturday morning, I guess. Because that was the day of the show. Everything was fine.
Yes,
you went do your thing shopping early.
Yes,
we were going to do an early thing, and then we were going to report on it on the show.
Yes, okay. Correct.
So the first person walks in, and I just excuse myself for 1 second and had to use the bathroom. I'm like, wow, that was weird. I just barely had coffee. Hold on. Then it gets interesting. I throw up. Like violent flying puke. I hate to talk about this, but I'm going to because it's going to be relevant to when we talk about purging. I was hugging the bowl for my dear life. I actually came up 10 feet off the floor, it felt like. And there was just a line of it coming out, and I noticed, oh man, everyone has been sick in my family, but they're over there. They're on the other side, right?
Yeah, but you were in contact with all of them.
I thought I carried something over from Christmas when I played Santa.
Oh, I think you did.
Right?
I think you absolutely did.
And then this came around, this stomach sickness makes people go out of both ends, and it flies out like Superman, literally like Superman, dun, 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 and it just flies out. Never experienced that in my life, even as it doesn't matter. As much ayahuasca, if I combined all the times I've drank ayahuasca, and then what happened to me after the first 3 times, it has no clout with me whatsoever. That's how bad it was. And that was just for the first 5 hours until it turned out coming out the other side. So they had closed the school over here. 150 kids got sick. Now, naturally, they're not going to talk about it on the radio or put it in the paper until it's way too late. So we were just word of mouth. I literally try to stay away from everyone. And then I slinked back in. I figure I'd give everybody 5 days till afterwards. And I show back up and start inserting myself. And the next day get sick.
It was your mother. She got you sick. It was
Now, not everyone had this virus.
Violent stomach virus.
So what I did was, while the ceremony was going on, I just took one of the buckets.
Oh, it was, yes.
For 5 hours. That bucket.
No, 6 hours.
Well, the first 5.
Yeah, for the first hour, you were on your own. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I filled almost the whole bucket. and it was pretty rank. And then everything got clear. That's when I got scared. Then I started drinking water, and there was pain. So the first person gets up from the ceremony, totally worried about me, but is now under for hours.
Right.
And comes in the room and says, there's a negotiation with you going on right now. We know it's a virus, but you're purging the AI. There's a negotiation for you to not be taken, period. Like, end it right now and leave and never come back. And it hurt at the time. I couldn't. For me, I was hallucinating. I had 103 fever. I know my head was on fire.
Yeah.
I was seeing children in the room that had darkness across their faces. They kept saying to me, we're here and we're not leaving. And I'm like, oh no, you little kids got to go. And I realized, I said, oh no, I'm hallucinating. So one of the people that was at the ceremony says, you've been here the whole time with me. Me. 50% of my ceremony has now been taking care of you and watching the negotiations and then getting involved. That's very intense to hear. I'm laying there going, if it was up to me, you could take my life right now.
That's how bad it was.
I don't want to be here. I don't want to give this to anyone. Oh, I was saying I wouldn't give this to an enemy, and I got a few people I don't like, and I'm like, nah, like, forget it. It made me get compassionate.
Oh, absolutely.
Humbled. And then it came out the other end, and I started freaking out. I've never had this happen before. And it was like having what they call Montezuma's revenge.
Yeah, but we're not even talking about that. I mean, let's put it, I'm good. I'm 40. I'm going to be 45 years old. And in my entire life, I have never seen anybody get sick like that. I've never witnessed anything like that. Quite like that it was like a stomach virus on steroids. And, you know,
internally, I felt like there was a force. This is going to sound weird, but my esophagus was burnt, completely burnt. I could not talk until the other day, actually. I sounded like a walrus. And I felt this, it was like a force field against my skin that refused to let anything in my body.
Right.
And anything that was in it, during my hallucination, I saw my organs secreting some kind of stuff and pushing it onto the other side of the shield, and then it would eject out of my body.
Yes.
And I drank 3 gallons of water.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Everything came out clear. And then after that horrible couple, 7-8 hours, I was able to get momentary clarity. Right? Where I could lay there. Guys, go give me 15 minutes, please.
Yeah.
My buddy Zed came in the room to check on me as he was leaving. I love this guy. Zed is my favorite. He touches my head like this. I'm doing the Vulcan mind meld. He kind of does that to me, and I'm hallucinating, and I thought it was my father. And Zed was the guy
who was claimed to be your father.
On the other side, they showed him being a father of mine in a past life. And the look was, oh my God, lowercase g.
It was horrible.
And I felt it. I've never felt any of this stuff, guys. I just get sick like anyone else. I haven't been sick in years. Not like that. I've never been sick like that, but flu-y, 3 days maybe, little feverish here and there.
Solid 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's how we know it wasn't. It was AI. It had to have been, but there's no way you would have been sick like that. I've never seen.
For days later. I'm feverish. My brain feels like mush. Mm-hmm. Like I can't think. I can't do more than one thing at a time, and I'm realizing that this thing is cooking my brain. So, but what I was seeing, besides I can't take this anymore, I kept seeing spiders all over the house, right? And
the outside of the house, and they were huge. They weren't like little spiders, and they were trying to get in desperately and pumping on the right side in my ear where I told you guys I was injected. They put me down once, these gray things, and they put something in my ear. There was this spider looking thing right behind it. It was like right where my brain would be, right there, and it was pumping as I was breathing.
And I'm like, oh no, you have to go. And they were like, everything's gone but this thing. It's not going. It's hanging on. You have to get rid of it. And I was just too weak to do any of this. So I'm watching this just thinking I'm going crazy. With all the experience I've had going to the other side, it's never made me feel crazy. No. I come back and talk to you and go, this is crazy. I don't say I'm going crazy.
Yeah, no, you thought you were going crazy there for a minute.
It was like a bad acid trip that just kept getting worse.
It didn't end.
No, it didn't end. But last night, finally, our good friend, Christy,
yes,
came through. We said, she said a little mantra, I'll call it, or a little prayer at me. Asked me if I have ever met Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel. Michael is like a brother to me. Met him many a times. He's helped me many a times. Never met the other two guys. And as she was explaining this to me, a giant blue hand came out of the ether and touched my ear. And she wrote to me, he's coming to you, Gabriel, as a blue hand. And I was purging in front of my computer, holding my ear like it was murder killing me. And I was like, oh my. And then I had to blow my nose. My nose was so badly clogged. And I blew my nose and something came out of my nose that was not snot. I'm dead serious. I told you, it looked like a hard tear. And I was freaking out and everything went away.
Yeah.
No pain, no fever, no insectoid thought, no weird thought, no soreness in my body, nothing. I feel great and I'm back. I'm back. Get into the story, get back onto the storyline. And I love you guys so much. Your protection from deception has arrived. Saturday night.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are EFR, your protection from deception.
Am I awake or is this a dream? A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world.
Oh yeah, we're back. So she tells me Raphael will come to you as the color green. Colors unlock vibrations, frequencies. I told you he came, but this is what I did. I said, oh, color green. That's the heart chakra color. Let me open it, but I got to be careful, use discernment, not let anything in that doesn't belong, right? And it looked like a Ghostbuster trap almost, the way it opens, and then the energy just came out. And then there he was, showed up wearing green robes, but looked like a saint. And I said to him, oh, very nice to meet you. You have to be really cool, but please don't ever come to me dressed like that again, or appearing to me like that, please. And he said, why is that? And he was smiling, and I said, because you're making it religious, and I'm not down with that.
Right.
And this was the coolest thing, one of the coolest things anyone's ever done, one of the beings. He could change his outfit, but looked like he could hang out with me. He was a blonde-headed guy, and he was wearing like a green, colored outfit, like just different shades. And I was like, whoa, like, all right, let's go. And I went to bed after that. Felt like my ear was draining. Almost like air is escaping my ear. Like I could pop, for those who pop their ears, no. But I mean, like, this is going, just keeps going. And everything in my sinuses poured out. The thing that came out of me was hard as a rock. Out of my nose, it looked like a giant teardrop, and it wasn't like it was so weird.
Again, I missed that. I didn't get wasn't lucky enough to watch it.
I cry sometimes bugging out on stuff, and I go,
You're
the more
purging
these
the
things
emotion.
happen,
You're purging.
well,
the
I don't know
emotion.
what's in that stuff because I told you once I spit something out that was like a stick, and I was like, "Where did that come from?" I never.
Oh, that I witnessed.
And I didn't want to take it out and keep it and say, "Hey, everybody, look at this!" Like that's disgusting.
No, I witnessed that one.
You know, and I really. I don't even know where I would go to get something like that tested. I don't want to be that weirdo, but I'm right there. I'm right there with you because there's no pain. I have the worst injury that you could imagine on someone from my age, and I'm young, and I have the worst injury. I'm moving around. The fact that I'm moving around is a blessing enough. What I'm doing, though, is living a life that I never thought I'd be able to live, and it's being this helped me altogether. This was like a giant self-help with the ayahuasca. It's what the doctors could never do. They told me I would be paralyzed, and they were like, "Dude, you're done. You're done. Look at you. You're shot." Nobody wanted to give me the surgeries. They were like, nope. They didn't want to touch me right away. They got rid of me at my job, put me over here, then fought me every way, tooth and nail, to not give me any kind of compensation for breaking my neck, pretty much. And then, in the worst of the worst situation, on top of losing it all, Aya shows up. I mean, plants her 2 feet down and tackles me like a linebacker. And I say, tackle me. I'm going to submit to the tackle.
Right. You have to submit.
Because, you know what? The fact that you're here and this is going on, I always said, if the vampire came to my door, I would always know that the good guys were real, the angels and stuff, because the vampires, that the actual demon is snarling at the door, let me in, I'm going to eat you. So my faith would be unshakable at that point.
Right.
Because you're there, so this is going to be there.
Right. The opposite has to be there.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you're here, the opposite has to be here as well. Oh, yeah.
Look, I just grab down on everything and I say to myself, oh, I showed Paula before on the new YouTube page. Someone had me in their list, and they had me, Corey Good, David Wilcock, or it was Corey Good, David Wilcock, me. I've lost my ego and all that stuff.
No, that's amazing though. Because now you're being recognized the way they're being recognized.
The message has to echo off the proper truth.
Right.
So for those that are telling like they're putting it out there, they're using the energy to do their best to put it out there. My stuff is my truth, but it is the truth from my perspective, and it's echoing their truth. And listen, honestly, other than Wilcock, I mean, these guys Wilcock's been around a while, but Corey's new. Yeah. I was talking about him 6 months before he even came out on other people's shows. Chris could tell you I was on his show. I said, dude, I was on the Sphere. I talked about it.
Years ago. This was years ago.
6 months before Corey Good even came out. I went on and said I was in a Sphere with Thoth, the Egyptian. He brought me in and said, this is your place. And I said, who's that guy? And he looked like, I swear, he looked like he was under mind control. And I said, he's not even looking at me. And then I saw my reflection off the paneling behind him, and I seen that I was the light being and I wasn't a human, but I was acting human. I was acting like Frank.
Right.
I was like, hey, man. And then I go, oh, I would be pretty scary to this guy if I just walked up on him like, hey, buddy. I'm like, so I backed off, and they said, no, he's being like, we're downloading the information to him. And I was standing there with Ratir Air, which is the bird lady, the avian girl that he speaks to, that is the mouthpiece. There was a male bird person, blue, the blue avians. There was a female one that I couldn't stop looking at, and I didn't know why. And I wanted to touch her lips, but she was so tall. She's mad tall, like 8 feet tall. I could barely touch her face with my finger. And they said, do not do that. They knew what I was going to do. And I said, no, I'm curious about your lips. They look like beaks, but little, like our lips. And they look weird. And she bent down and let me see, and then hugged me. And I seen that they were soft. And then I felt them think like that. And I said, oh, they're soft like our lips. They're not beaks. It's not a beak. And they said, no, it's not a beak. And she held me in her arms. And I said, it was the best hug I've ever had. Like, it just felt like home. All right, so let's catch up with the story. Because this is
your point is that
because it's going to go back to this moment.
But your point is,
6 months prior, I was talking to these beings,
and Corey Good.
And Corey was just sitting there, and they said that he's going to speak for us. I remember I was sitting at your house when you lived upstate, and I said to you, I was on YouTube, and he came out, and I said, that's the guy, and it was his first video. I said, I didn't know his last name was Good. I just knew his first name was Corey. And I was standing next to him on the sphere, and inside the sphere, it was gigantic. The sphere just looked like a ball of light, and then when you stepped into it, it was monstrous. It was gigantic. There was all kinds of beings in there. I'm going to go over some notes, because in the notes is the important stuff and the juicy stuff. I don't want to kind of... Okay. We're going to get back to this moment, though, this blue avian, because this is what happens to me, and as we continue the story, we go right back to this raw tier air character, right, through another set of beings. I have this, just bear with me a second. Last time we spoke, Anubis stole me back before the darkness was able to strike me, and he struck with light from his staff, this darkness, and pulled me back, pulled me away. This was unsettling to me. I was shaking, but I felt like I was breaking through to the real me, even more because I was able to use discernment and stop trickery. I was also very scared. To face that kind of evil, it was a wow moment. Then I said, no, you cannot heist the heist, mentally, spiritually, physically. I don't know why I say that all the time, but it's one of my jokes that I used to play with my younger brother. He's the guy that created the heist. And I used to go, come on, I'm the older brother. You can't heist the heist. And I would tackle them and beat them up and stuff and have fun. But that is what saves me in the darkest moments, is that fun.
But again, we leave ourselves clues, right? So that was a clue that you left for yourself over 20 years ago. Right,
exactly. I love what I am becoming and who I'm becoming. My faith and my belief system is now flowing. How I'm meeting them is, what I did was I cleared myself out in the beginning. I cried and cleared out all the junk, threw up the black goo stuff. I talked about this on the earlier episodes.
All the
I went through the process and then did it again, and then said, hey, listen, before the beings came, it was just her. It was just Aya. But I said, what's going on here? I want to know. I want to know. And then it starts revealing itself. I tell them I'm ready. I don't play a game with them. She'll tell you.
No. You're very to the point.
I speak to Ra.
Upfront and respectful.
When I first started talking to them, I crapped my pants and cried like a baby. You guys got to understand, it's scary at first, but they're something to us. I know what they are. I'm beginning to understand that we're them and they're us. So they're here to help.
Yes.
You got to use your discernment and see who's who, but you call them to you. You say, I am ready. I'm ready to learn. When you take the breath and bend your knees and take the 15 minutes to meditate, they're going to say, you're taking the 15 minutes, we'll give you the 15 minutes more.
Right.
We'll double it. And then you go and do something better for yourself, and then in care to others, right? You fix yourself, then,
more information is revealed.
It just it pours out. With me, the different beings come. I'm surprised every time, and I want to be able to get to this. We got 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
I feel like I'm working even when I'm asleep, being assigned codes and information. I could see the information field, the sun, the light tunnels, the portals, the darkness that jumps from fear to fear. These are I don't know what to do, so I make the statement. They always tell me, just say what you see. Try not to understand it at first, because you don't understand. Like if you start making your own things up, it could be that from a perspective, but that might not be the truth. It might be your truth for a moment, and then it might change when you come here. So this is where we get into the crystals. The crystals start becoming relevant now.
Yeah.
I was never into crystals. Crystals, they kept showing me the crystals. They kept showing them to me. I have them out in front of me. I have a couple in my pockets. I know it sounds weird, but these things are alive.
Oh, yeah, we have them all over the house.
And they do help. Their energy, what they store inside of them, what it helps you connect to. Like the light reflects into the crystal, charging it, and then it's like having a power battery of whatever you might need, whether it's protection, goodwill, discernment, etc. I broke my crystal wand. My cat broke it, and I was very upset. Paula kept saying, don't worry, it still works. I went into the shower. I was angry and I was frustrated, playing Om Nah Shiva. And then the downloads start. I start getting explanations about how to go about the next steps. It's rough roads ahead, but if we navigate the flow of energy, we will be on the path of wisdom and truth. How to love ourselves so we may transform like a butterfly. So they show me energy work and how to use the crystals to create enhancements to every part of our being. We are very powerful beings, and with great power comes that great responsibility. They agree that our power grids can no longer be trusted. When I say they agree, we're just going to say the beings I speak to, all of them, a bunch of beings that are human beings that I work with all the time, and the light workers. The electronics cannot be trusted, so the next part is to introduce telepathy, starting with our small group, extending around to each other, extending to our extended family, and then again to the next grid of people. We have a spider web of energy that connects us deep on an intimate way so that we can see when it all goes dark. I was shown how to set up and distribute this with crystals, with first starting with our group and our group setting. Direction as well as placement is so very important. They have shown me the crystals and energy, some combinations as well, and what the different energy outputs will be like. I ordered everything that they had spoke to me about, and now I'm ready to get rocking and rolling. All right, so they showed me this, and I was like, I have to abide by this.
Act on it, yeah.
Okay. I was shown how to step into the different realities and that we are all connected, and I'm becoming my own singularity. What I did was I started placing myself at the center of the spider web that I was noticing. Right. Now, it's really weird because I have different people have told me. They hit me up and say, you came to me in a dream, but it wasn't you. It was like your voice over a loudspeaker, but you were speaking to everyone above the grid, the wall that's there. And I go, right, we're building the wall above. Right. It's like past their grid. We're building like a pyramid grid over their electronic false light grid. So we can connect because we can no longer trust the equipment anymore. And in case it all goes dark, but we got to start this journey anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 characters, 2 different ceremonies, women, both came to me and said, we're going to have to start using telepathy. So I had heard this twice from 2 different people from my tribe. So I thought it was important. Okay, so I decided to take out my crystals, but I only have 4. One broke. I was messing with it. Then I heard the first voice. Want it to work really good? Remember the combinations? I could feel the different energy moving around me, and as I tried the different combinations, one made me feel weird, and they said it was because you have an attachment again. I'm like, all right, damn it, let's do this. I stood up, bent my knees, and started breathing deep. Bam, second try. I had to run into the kitchen and purge. It was very rough, but I started feeling really good immediately. I start by stretching and moving my body, and as I start rehabilitation on my neck exercises, I hear a new voice. Sounds like a male voice. Starts showing me movements to help my neck and upper body. As I'm doing the movements in rhythm with this being, I notice that the movements remind me of Tai Chi. Then my body feels like it's flowing and more energy. It's all kinds start flowing around me. The body of the being was human. He was standing next to me on my left and was doing the movements next to me, showing me, and then somehow we synced up. Like it was like our timing got together and just locked in, and the movements were very simple. Very simple. All upper neck, body, arms stretch, get the stretch in there. But the movement was beautiful. It was kind of like a rotating clockwise, bringing my arms out from my left to right in a big circular motion, back around. And I noticed that the energy in front of me was building up into this giant ball of light. Now, I'm not on anything, guys. You don't need to be on everything all the time to do this. I'm not on things all the time.
No, this is just meditation or
this is
quietness.
I do it. I take the time and do it. So this is where it gets weird again. Then my body feels like it's flowing. All the energy comes around me. And the being, I look over at him. We're in perfect rhythm. I'm thinking, hey, man, thanks a lot. And he changes. He keeps moving, looking right into my eyes.
Right.
And it changes from a man into a mantis. And the mantis is like much bigger than the man was.
Because he showed you what he knew your brain, your mind could understand. And he didn't want to shock you. If you
shock me,
you turned over and saw
it didn't shock me. I'll be honest. What happened was I was in such a rhythm.
Yeah.
That I didn't stop my rhythm. I said, "Oh, you're doing it again." When I first met the mantis, this a similar thing happened. It was pretending to be one thing, and then just came out and was the mantis. I asked if he was. I asked, "Has this been you showing me these movements and helping me get rid of my attachments?" And the mantis being said, "Yes, Ra Tier L." And I asked, "Who is this? And who is this Ra Tier L? And why are you asking me that? I know who I am. That's just weird." And he said, "You are the creator."
Yes.
I said, "Yes.
Yes.
Man who walks in all worlds."
Yes.
Yeah, that's me. Fearless One, son of Ra.
Yes.
Yeah, that's me. He said, "You are Ra Tier L. And we're looking for that person, and we know we can find who we're looking for.
We know it's you.
And that is you. You didn't know that, did you?"
Right.
And I said, my name is Frank.
Yeah.
I'm the creator, man who walks in all worlds. And then he stops me and says, "You are the true son of Horus." I said, "Yeah." He said, "True son of Ra." And I said, "Well, nah, now I'm not." And then he said,
sure.
Son of Atlantis. By proxy, Ra stepped in for my dad, being a jerk and leaving.
Right.
I was very upset about that. Then it happens. I'm just sitting there like, "You're all demons? Every one of you?" I always do this. I'm like, "You're a demon. You're demonic. You tricked me. I can't trust you." And Ra walks right up to me.
Yeah.
It's so weird. He's so potently energetic. When he shows up, you're just like, "Oh, here it comes." Like you can see it coming. And then it's like the energy signature. And then boom, he's standing there. And I go, "Wow, you're here." And he said, "We couldn't tell you anything. Because how do we tell you everything? Without your brain, your monkey brain." He kept saying, "Your monkey brain, your flesh brain can't actually handle the information. This is why you almost faint when I show up most of the time."
Right.
I'm getting used to it now, but it's still like, it's like when in the superhero movies, when you turn around and Batman's just gone.
Yes.
Think about the character just appearing. Like he's not there. You look back and he's there, and you're like, "Oh, look at this."
Honey, we've been through this 100 times now.
So I said, "So now what are you telling me?" And he said, "See it for yourself."
Yeah.
And I go, "See what?" And then I said, "Okay." I start doing the dance that they were teaching me. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And I go, "You know what? Tell me who I am. I want you to say it." And they lined up. The mantis rolled up with multiple mantises. I guess my angel beings, whoever's with me on the other side, Ra in front of me, and they start chanting a full name thing. And they start going, "You are Ra Tier L, true son of Horus, true son of Ra, son of Atlantis, the creator, the man who walks in all worlds, the fearless one." Then again, they say it again and again, and I'm doing the movements, and I notice I can't breathe no more. And I drop to my knees, and I'm on the yoga pad, and I'm like, I can't get up. And then I'm laying on just my face is on the floor, and then my body's laying there, and I'm begging them to stop. "Please stop. Please stop. Please stop." And then, boom, it all stops. And I'm sitting there, and it's completely dark, and only the truth frequency. You can see it, guys. I know that's the name of Chris named it truth frequency because it's really there. You can
literally tune into it.
When you're alone with the truth, it's just the truth. There's nothing to it. It's just what it is.
Go to bed. Yes.
And you observing it. And I saw a whole lot more than I expected to see. I saw the Blue Avians, who have been involved this entire time with me. Toth has been there. Ra has been there. Horus has been there. We've had Anubis there, who's not one of the Blue Avians, but who works directly with everyone. It's like everyone's connected to everyone else. Then it takes me back to the moment on the sphere. Now we're back to where Corey was.
Right.
And I'm like, that's Ra Tier Air. Why would she care about hugging me? And I went, oh, man. That's why they were like, hey, what's up? And like, hey, you belong here, right here on the sphere. This is where, and I was telling Toth, you tell all the humans you bring here that. And he's like, you're not human.
Well, remember,
you belong right here.
Everywhere else, time is different. It's not linear, you know? So, you know, they're welcoming you back. For them, you've been gone in human time. You've been gone a day or 2 or 3 even, you know, whereas you've had your memory wiped clean.
I've had my memory wiped clean, and those of us that speak to these beings, it's being broken down to me. I'm going to leave you guys with this thought in your mind. Ra told me that the true sons of Israel, the tribes, were hidden in the mutt DNA, hidden in the soul DNA, right. So you can't be found. Those that speak to us are us, and we are you. And I remembered Horus when I first met him. He just grabbed me. He was so like physical with me. He grabbed me, said, don't you see? I'm you and you're me. And I started screaming, I'm not you. I don't want the responsibility. I started crying. And then I looked and I went, oh, you mean the Christ consciousness? And then he said, yeah, whatever you want to think.
But I think it's more. I think it's DNA also. I think that's what they mean when they, you know, I think that's what they mean when they say you're me and I'm you. I mean, I understand it's a consciousness, but I think they were literally trying to explain it's DNA.
You're absolutely correct. They were showing me that I've been under a bunch of times. We've had all weird experiences, but only a set handful of people actually talk to the beings like I do.
Yes.
Out of everyone. It was explained to me that the true tribes, the true lost tribes of Israel, which is Isis, Ra, and Enlil, that the false light and the false light technology, the draconian system, jumped in and claimed the name and is holding the name hostage while pointing weapons of mass destruction at everyone on the planet, but claiming they are of Isis and of Ra and of Enlil. You're out of your mind now if you cannot see the system of control and what's about to happen. I want you to really seriously think about this. This has nothing to do with the Jewish people and this and that and God's chosen people. This is the DNA of them. Those that came from there to here, right? Those that are out there doing it right. They said they'd be back. Did they not? The blue spheres have been around the whole time. Have they not? They not drawn Jesus Christ in the blue spheres? Have they talked about these things surrounding the person as they ascend or descend from the heavens? They're back, ladies and gentlemen. And I think a lot of us are in for more than what we even expected from any of this. The true surprise is on its way. As the event occurs and the shift happens, we tell you, may the source be with you as we protect you from deception because we love you. We'll see you next week. We're going to get back into the story and just keep it going. And stick around for Beyond the Veil up next.